Fish, the protein that feeds the world. You can eat it raw, you can cook it yourself, you can buy it pre-cooked. Tonight we'll cover the whole spectrum and even attempt to catch a fish of our own near Coney Island.
Watch out! Jesus Christ! Whoa!
What a bunch of city slickers.
Hey!
We're gonna make another pasta. It's my favorite food in the world. The world is flat. You'd be hard pressed to know, is that a phrase? The Italians eat a pasta with tuna in it. All the time. It's just one of those dishes that never made it to America. I think it's great because the sauce is done in the time it takes to boil the water, and also it takes all of the intimidation out of cooking fish, because you have time to think about it while it sits in your cabinet and doesn't decay. So here it is. Cue the Giada voice. Reginetti al tono. So the first thing we're gonna do is put on the water right here. Full blast. And let's get this heated up. Something that I like to add to this dish are capers. The best way to get them are when they're sort of like under salt like this. And so that means that you need to get the salt off. And the way to do that is like this. Just kind of let this hang out. Garlic. I know it's weird, but I really like touching it. If you burn yourself, it's hot enough. The centerpiece of this dish is this tuna. The one in glass is of higher quality almost always. I mean, they're showing you the product. That's how you know that it's really good. I think this is worth the extra price, absolutely. And sometimes, they even come with some accoutrement inside. So this one has more capers, and it's packed in olive oil. It's great because we don't have to use any extra olive oil. We can just use this already flavored olive oil. Capers going in. Let's throw in scallion. Let's throw in garlic. I would say most of that salt is dissolved. And the second that hits, you can smell a briny ocean smell. Tomatoes, crushed, half-size can. It's all you need. Stuff is starting to kind of like burn a little bit. Deglazing is very, very important. One, it brings the temperature of the pan down. Two, it frees all that stuff off the bottom, and you can see right away we've got a clean bottom. Maybe you've heard me say this 1,000 times, but I'm never gonna stop saying it because it's never gonna change. This is how you cook. I mean, that's how you do it. That's how you develop flavor, and that's how you bring it into the dish. Anchovy paste. Hell yeah. I like buying stuff in a tube. It is much more convenient to use little bits at a time. There is some anchovy paste. Ew, Frank, that's gross. No, it's not gross. It's in all the stuff that you love and you didn't even know it. Tomato paste, same thing. Rich, deep, umami, intensified flavor. We need these things. Okay, we're gonna mix them in. Okay. Tuna, here it comes. Our water's boiling. The pasta needs to taste flavorful and delicious without the sauce. The only way to do that is to have hyper salty water. This gets broken up, and the tomatoes go in. Here they come. Looks like cat food, huh? Swirl around a little water in here, get the excess tomato out of the can. Make sure the top gets in there also. We like that extra aluminum, very important. Stir it around, and we're gonna add a little bit of red pepper flake. I have recently really started to fall in love with these new whole wheat pastas. All right, it says 5 to 8 minutes. There's sort of a renaissance happening in whole wheat pastas right now. All these small companies are bringing back all these wheats that we lost to industrial farming right after World War II. They're much more delicious than your average whole wheat pasta. Talk to any Italian and they'll tell you no cheese on fish ever. I think it's delicious. And I also think that as long as you know their rules, you can break them. It's the ignorance that they don't like. Also, Italians put cheese on their fish all the time. They really do. They do. I saw it on TV. All right, so here's Parmigiano Reggiano from a buffalo. So it's actually a little bit different. And it's probably not real Parmigiano because it doesn't have the stamp on it. They probably don't approve it as official DOC, but it's from Parma. See, they've got Italians in the region breaking their own rules at home. If it ever gets to a point where it's too thick, all you have to do is take a scoop of this. It has runoff starch from the pasta. It also has salt in it. It's been 6.5 minutes. Oh, right at the beep. Okay. Notice the pasta water here. We want some of that pasta water. I'm doing the sin that was never to be done. Cheese. Cheese in the pasta that's gonna be made with fish. If you ever wanted to have an Italian try a pasta with cheese and fish, this is a great way to sneak it in. They'll never know. Okay, that's gorgeous. Do you see that? Beautiful. Now, the marriage. 1, 2. It's always great to have your pasta a little undone because you can continue cooking it with sauce. That's basically it. Here's a fish dish, super unintimidating, and it was done in the time it took to cook the pasta. Let's plate it up. Throw a little scallion on top. Whole wheat pasta with fish and cheese. It's insane. So the pasta's perfectly salted. The sauce is able to sort of not be super salty because the pasta's the thing that's salty. And instead we get this brininess from the capers and the garlic and the scallion and the tuna. You wouldn't even know that there are anchovies in here, but they add a whole bunch of umami that only the most discerning tasters would ever recognize. So let's get to the sinning part, the cheese. Cheese with fish. I don't know why they have a problem with it. They mix everything else. It makes it creamy, it makes it velvety. It makes it delicious. In order to illustrate the state of buying and selling fish right now, I'm going to tell you a story about Freddie the fish. Freddie was caught in Florida, put on a truck on ice, driven up to Hunts Point in Queens, auctioned off, won by a restaurant in Florida, and then driven back down to Florida. Seems like a lot of unnecessary driving just to make some middlemen happy. So that's the current state of fish. Sean Dimon and Sea to Table are trying to change that with direct sales, basically connecting fishermen with restaurants all over the country. Is it safe to call you distribution? I mean...
Call me a fishmonger, Frankie.
Okay. You're the fishmonger, and you have a bunch of fishermen working for you. You're like the pimp fishmonger?
No. Fish pimp is a term in the industry, but these fishermen are all independent guys.
Okay.
They can sell to us, they can sell to the next guy.
Oh, that's nice.
They choose to sell to us when they can. So we currently ship direct from over 38 fishing communities' docks between New England, Mid-Atlantic, Southeast Atlantic, Gulf, California, Pacific Northwest to Alaska, and communicate each day what these docks are landing, what the different fishermen are catching, and then chefs are able to look and see the mix of species landed each day. They create an order. We have the dock then pack the box to the chef's specs and then deliver it in a point-to-point system overnight. Cool. At its base.
What's the difference between a fishery and farmed fish?
A fishery is wild. So you're actually going out and harvesting a natural resource.
Yeah.
In the ocean is a natural resource. We own it.
Yeah.
And the fishermen get licensed. They get permits
Okay.
to go out and catch a certain quota of that fish. And we actually pay them for their expenses incurred to go out and hunt and harvest.
So this is what Sea to Table does. You connect fishermen directly to restaurants in New York.
Correct. Actually, all over the country. But
All over
New
the
York,
country.
New York's our hometown. New York's our base.
How is the old way of doing it? I mean, because that seems so simple, that seems like the way it would be.
Yeah. It really hasn't changed as an industry in the last 30, 50, 100 years. When you put all of these large middlemen into the distribution chain, they actually drive value to the middle.
Yeah.
Because they control the information, they control the pricing. Fishermen often don't even know what they're going to be paid for fish until after the middleman sells
I
it.
understand.
So what we try to do is we try to really remove a lot of those inefficiencies and collapse the old distribution.
Yeah.
Linking the chef with the fisherman and really driving the value to the two ends of the chain and away from the middle.
Direct sales.
Correct.
You're like the Elon Musk of the fish world. Yeah, we have a fresher fish with Sea to Table. It's traveled less. The fisherman, I guess, gets more profit.
Of course, that's the whole
This is
point.
great.
That's why you would sell to us and not to the traditional. So once you can connect the 2 points and you can be able to talk the 2 points, you can figure out how to drive value to the 2 points. Here in New York, we have a really well-managed fishery, and there's a lot of really beautiful fish being landed, not far from here. If you come out here in the East River, you go to the New York Harbor, you hang a left, you swing from Brooklyn to Queens to Nassau County,
Yeah.
and there are fishing communities right there. There's Point Lookout, there's Freeport, you keep going further east, there's Shinnecock Inlet,
Yeah.
and then you go all the way out east, there's Montauk. We get striped bass running through here.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite fish. It's really an iconic fish to New York.
How about like inches, feet? Big.
Oh yeah, they get out towards that 48 inches, 56 inches,
massive.
and then they just start getting round.
Just like humans. Why would you want to catch striped bass one at a time when you could just reduce the population in one fell swoop?
We only do hook and line in the state.
Really?
Yeah, we don't even have net fishery.
Everything off Montauk is hook and line?
No, for striped bass.
Oh, for striped bass?
Yep.
So if they pull the net up and they're striped bass and they have to throw them back?
If you hit a big pocket of striped bass, you're fishing in the wrong place.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're actually forced to throw that fish overboard. They can't make money off it, which is a really silly thing because you're throwing fish overboard, which are not going to survive.
Why not?
Well, if you're caught in a net, it means you've kind of been dragged in a net for some period of time. The fish will drown.
Fish drown?
That's a whole nother episode.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Crudo means Italian. Crudo does not mean Italian. Crudo. It means raw in Italian. And if you've got a really fresh piece of fish, there's no better way to eat it. The Japanese do ceviche. The Spanish people do sashimi. That's backwards. While the folks in the Mediterranean dress up their raw seafood a little bit more, and they call it crudo. And so do I. Excellent piece of sea bass here. And we're just gonna try and get some nice thin slices of it. You take your slices, maybe 3 at a time. Any more than that is a little bit cumbersome. Any less than that, and the whole process takes a little too long. Now, is this cooking? I don't know, I'm sort of preparing ingredients. You know, how many steps? Did I catch the fish? Did I harvest the capers? I grew the basil. Did I grow the lemon? Am I gonna cut the lemon? There's a lot of questions to be asked here. Here's some Kalamata olives. I'm just gonna, here's some capers. These go perfect with fish. I love when you cut them, they look like little baby Brussels sprouts on the inside. So let's take our basil leaves. Sort of give it a little roll. We can just come across with the knife. Okay, let's throw those in. How about a slice of a habanero? One of the reasons the Japanese use wasabi is for its bacteria-killing qualities. Wow, the smell of this is crazy. So I think a habanero makes a lot of sense like that. Some lemon. I think it smells nice. capers, lemon. The habanero has a smell. So here's some olive oil. You just kind of stir that up a little bit. Come into a measure. Pat it down a little. Well, it looks better than having the mess everywhere, don't you think? Where's that pretty basil leaf? You can take this guy and... And you can finish it with a little bit of Malden salt. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I've never eaten a fish that I've caught, so I want to change that today. I'm going to go on Captain David Plimpton's boat right off of Floyd Bennett Field and try and catch an iconic New York fish, striped bass. I'm also going to take my friend Evan along with me because he'll double our chances, and he's good at everything. Let's go. So I want to let it sink for a second before I reel, right?
A little bit, yeah. Not exactly, but
Oh, I got something.
oh,
Fish on.
Okay, how we doing?
All right.
I knew I was going to bring you along. It's a good idea.
Look at that.
Wow.
Okay.
Right off the bat. All right.
See the fish swirling underneath the bird? Get it out there, it's all yours.
Oh! What? Fish on!
I don't even believe it. What do you got? What do you got? Can't see it. He's back to back.
Putting on a click.
It's been too big. Oh man, look at this.
There you go, get the fellow with the fish.
Whoa, now watch out. That's right.
Whoa! The photo op. All right, all right.
Okay, there
All
we
right,
go.
let's just do it.
Okay.
How's that? All right.
All right.
Okay. Oh. What a bunch of city slickers.
Evan, I'm starting to get sick of this. Oh, I got a bite.
We got a big one. It's definitely bigger than Evan's.
Oh! Put on a stronger leader. Tip it at the end of that.
Oh, I got a bite. And then I reel. And then up.
That's pretty good though, huh?
That's a good looking fish.
Money shot, smile. Okay, give him a little kiss. Okay, let him go.
All right. High five.
Okay, very nice. Good job.
Oh man, fish on. All right. It feels way bigger than Frank's last fish. All right.
Go ahead, go free, go wild.
All right. All right.
Totally big enough. Is that 28? Look at the tail, it's off the edge. That's a 28.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
You want to come over and eat this thing?
Yeah, sure.
Seriously. Big fish.
You gonna cook this on the show?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's the whole
You want to come too?
I don't know about me.
I think I should call my friend Aurea. She runs Aurea's Malaysian kitchen based out of Brooklyn. She told me that she's got a great Malaysian steamed fish recipe.
Oh my god. Shut up. This thing is massive. You said it was big, but I never imagined
Well,
it was going to be
this is legal.
this big.
All right. You said you wanted to steam, right?
Yeah.
The interior is about 19 inches.
Okay.
And the fish is 29
inches. Okay. Perfect.
Should we fill the bottom
We
first?
should, and we should start it boiling.
All right.
It is beautiful. This is making me so happy. It's nice fresh ginger.
It smells really nice.
I don't use a potato peeler. I just hold it like this and run the knife along the sides.
I'm super excited. Look at the gills in there. Look at how
I
fresh
know.
that is.
I know. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna cut some slits in this fish.
It's a great idea.
Because it's huge. Okay, I'm gonna stick some garlic, stick some ginger. You know, Frankie, let's put a piece of foil over that so that it gets up to a really strong boil. I'm gonna drizzle some of this rice wine over it.
Okay. Right up in there. Oh yeah, bobbity boobity. What should we
It's
do
up
with
to
the
you.
rest of this ginger and scallion?
You'll see.
I just want to know what the next step is.
You know, I think we can put fishy on. Teamwork. So if I was doing a regular fish at home, 2 tablespoons of oil. But in this case, I'm gonna double it. Okay, so I'm gonna put 4 tablespoons of soy sauce in here.
Okay, so it's a.
Well,
Is it Malaysian soy sauce?
it's straight up Chinese soy sauce. Same thing. Because in Malaysia, our Chinese people came from mainland China, so it's exactly the same Chinese
Oh, so
soy
they brought soy sauce to Malaysia.
Yes, exactly. A few shakes of white pepper, cooking wine, maybe 1 spoon of it. Some rock sugar. 2 spoons of water in here. A little bit of sesame oil.
So what's that, half?
Yeah. This is gonna get heated. Let's
How
turn
long
it
is it
on.
gonna take?
Let's turn it on.
Oh, wow.
How much sodium does one fish need?
A lot.
Well, the soy sauce will just bathe the whole fish. Ah, there you go. Such a sweet, gentle beat.
That is so cool, Aria.
Let's
Wow.
turn this off.
You got it?
Got it.
Yeah. Oh, bobbity boobity.
Girls got skills. All right. Okay, so now I'm gonna drizzle this hot oil.
Oh, wow.
Now we put this in here. All right, so this is now totally boiling. Pour it on like I did just now with the oil. Oh, that's a lot of sauce, and that's good because the sauce is good. Okay, now you can really smell what this dish smells like.
Okay, so just a little bit of cilantro.
And there you go, it's gorgeous. Chinese style steamed fish, a very popular dish in Malaysia and very quick and easy.
Yeah.
It took us, what, 20 minutes?
20 minutes and we had a massive fish.
And we had a massive fish. If you were doing this at home with a regular sized fish, 15 minutes in, out, you're done. Dinner's on the table with a little bit of white rice.
That smells like nothing I've ever made in here before. It smells like a real Chinese restaurant or Malaysian restaurant. I've been to Malaysia, so Malaysian food is inspired by Chinese food.
Malaysian food is inspired by Chinese food, Indian food, Sri Lankan food, Portuguese. There's a very big Portuguese community in Malaysia. In one way, you could look at it as, you know, all of Asia on one plate or in one dish.
Okay.
Oh.
It smells fantastic.
This is typically Chinese.
Yeah. So what do the Malays do different?
The Malays, you'll see a jar of spicy sambal on the side.
That's what you make.
That's right, that's what I make.
Okay, so let's get it out.
Okay.
And you make this in Brooklyn?
I make this in Brooklyn.
And it's in stores? I don't think it smells funky at all.
Well, you like.
Oh,
do you
no,
like?
this is great.
Let me ask you a question. Do you like anchovies?
Yes, I do.
See, it's like to me, people who
I
like
feel-
anchovies, people who like anchovies like this.
Is it in all 5 boroughs? You can get it in stores in all 5 boroughs?
It's not in Staten Island. I'm sorry.
So you just go in a dipping container?
Yeah, just
like
a
that.
tiny little bit.
That's
Yeah.
probably enough?
That's probably
What
enough.
did you take? This is truly the most New York Malaysian dish ever. We caught the fish in the New York harbor.
I know.
We have all New York vegetables, and then we have your sauce, which is made
Oh
here
my
as well.
God, that's great.
So what's the deal with red chopsticks?
Good luck. Make sure you dip it in some of that sauce.
You know what? The sesame oil is very, very mild.
Yeah, very mild. Here's the thing with sesame oil. if you're gonna heat it up like we did in the pot, you need to use very little because it could scorch and then flavor the whole sauce, you know, with bitterness. So if you're gonna heat it up, you just use a tiny little bit and don't heat it up beyond, you know, to smoking point.
You keep talking all
But if you're going to like just drizzle it on something, you can use as much of it. I love sesame oil.
I love your sauce.
I see a lot of hungry eyes in the room. Both? Boom.
That's what you get for a full fish. It's okay. Okay, so we've got the super clean tasting protein, and then we've added savoriness with Malaysian or Chinese soy sauce. We've got a little bit of sugar, which adds just a little bit of sweetness. We've got the sesame oil, which is
Nutty, which is nutty. And then you have the rice wine, which freshens up the fish.
In addition
also.
to cilantro, scallion, and ginger.
The ginger. Yeah.
Oh, the skin is really good too.
The skin is good because it's got all that. Remember we poured the hot oil on it?
Ah, yeah. What are the fishes that we could do it at home? A sea bass, a bronzino?
Snapper, red snapper.
Red snapper?
Is great for this. So the money spot
You need a fork?
is in the cheek right here. See, this is the money spot. See that right there? Yeah?
It almost has the texture of a mushroom.
Yes, it's such great flavor. That's my favorite part of the fish.
There's a little, felt right there.
We've almost eaten the whole top half of the fish.